So the fundamental choice in climate, and this is cutting right to the punchline of my talk, just in case you fall asleep, is the choice we have between dumping that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and disposing of it responsibly and permanently so it's not a problem for future generations. That's actually the fundamental choice in the climate issue between carbon dioxide fly tipping and responsible carbon dioxide disposal. The option of just not generating the carbon dioxide at all might have been an option back in 2009 when we first discovered, as I said, the cumulative impact of carbon dioxide on global climate, but it's too late now. We've generated too much, we will generate too much, we've probably generated too much already, and so we're going to have to get rid of it. You can also see, crucially, the inequality of climate impacts around the world, the fact that the vast majority of countries that are adversely affected by climate change are the ones whose GDP is relatively low, GDP per capita is relatively low in the first place, and also the ones that are overwhelmingly not responsible for the warming to date, for the accumulation of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to date. Could we stop climate change in 10 years? We probably could, actually, technically. Will we? I doubt it. Certainly they're not planning to. But conversely, if it's 25 years before we reach 2 degrees, if we want to limit well below 2 degrees, we need to stop the warming well below 50 years. So we've got much less than 50 years to stop the warming. And aiming to stop the warming in 25 to 30 years' time is, as I said at the beginning, entirely feasible, but it means a clear understanding of what we need to do and some fresh thinking in how we set about it. And so that's the difficulty with this sort of, this pretense, if you like, that we can compensate for ongoing fossil fuel use by just planting trees or protecting trees. Important though it is to protect trees anyway. So the point is we need a like-for-like balance, if you can remember that phrase, between geological sources, things like burning fossil fuels, and geological timescale sinks. That is, disposing of carbon dioxide permanently on multi-century to millennial timescales. If you're taking carbon out of the Earth's crust, you need to be putting it back or disposing of it somewhere equally permanent. And we need to separate out the accounting for land sinks so that we can ensure that we are taking steps to protect these vital natural sinks to ensure they continue to provide this carbon disposal service we need into the future. It's such an important issue about that fuzzy dividing line between what's actually a consequence of ongoing human activity and what's happening because of historical emissions. It's a dividing line that I would argue we just can't make, and therefore we need geological net zero, which means we need a like-for-like balance between what's coming out of the Earth's crust to what's going back in. The technology's been there all along. We just haven't had the policies to make it happen. So to sum up, we need to stop fossil fuels from causing global warming. That, you'd say, is obvious. We need to do it before the world stops using fossil fuels. That may feel discordant to you, but it's true. And you've got to think through the implications. Halting global warming requires 1 ton of carbon dioxide safely and permanently disposed of for every ton still generated by burning fossil fuels in the 2050s. So we need a credible CO2 disposal plan that applies to all emissions, including Scope 3, so including the emissions resulting from the products companies sell, and aiming for 10% by 2035 and 100% by 2050 would be a great start.